was, a crazy week for these guys around here. And what I'd like to say before we talk about is, I hope Coach Turgeon is being celebrated for what he did here. For 10 years, I've competed against that guy. A couple at Duke when I was an assistant, and then 8 years here in the Big Ten. And I can tell you, trying to prepare to play against his teams, the kind of players he had here, the winning, the way he did it, the kind of person he is. He's a good basketball coach and a good man. So I hope that everybody around here will celebrate him for his tenure as you guys move forward. So I'm open to questions now.
Just curious, how did you go about preparing for this team when it is amid a coaching change? Did you expect it to be pretty much the same as what you saw on film or anything like that?
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to be able to change a whole lot in terms of how they played. I'm sure it was an emotional day, 2 days ago when everything kind of hit, so in terms of preparation, they didn't have a whole lot of time. So I knew that they were probably going to do what they've been doing, schematically. What you don't see a lot in college is like trades or coaching changes that you see in the pro game. And what I try to do, I've grown up with the program with my dad, and you've seen normally when there's a big trade or normally when there's any kind of change, you see it a fire and a fight in a team. Initially there's that initial boost. And we talked to our team about that, and I thought Maryland's kids played really hard. That's not easy. All of a sudden the guy who's recruited you and you played for, and now there's a change, and give their staff credit. Dan, he's done it, so he knows what he's doing. It's good that he's got a guy. Matt Brady's done it. He's been a head coach, but I just felt like their energy in their fight. We thought they were going to do what they do schematically, but I knew we were going to see their best shot, and we were going to have to play well in order to win.
Chris, how happy were you with your defense today, and just kind of how you were able to contain most of their knowns today?
Yeah, I thought our defense on Ayala and Scott was really good. Those guys, and Wahab, those three guys. I thought Russell got downhill a little bit. He had some missed finishes. He made a couple threes, which we were going to live with. He's a good player. But, certainly with these guys, you hold Scott to 2 for 11, Ayala to 2 for 12, and Wahab to 1 for 8. You've done a really good job on that end. And really down the stretch, I was pleased with our defense because there was a lot of game pressure. They made a nice push. They got it to a one-possession game. And that's usually where Ayala, especially, he's been such a clutch player for them. I thought for us to have Adige back, there was a big play. They tried to isolate him, and Chase got a steal and turned it into a layup on the other end. That's what we've been missing. This is the first game we've had our whole team. We not having Adige the whole year, but I think in the long run it's going to help us because it's allowed some of our other guys to get some minutes and figure some things out. So anytime you win on the road, guys, in this conference, I don't care who you play, where you play them, you got to be happy because it's a really tough league, and we're really happy to get out of here with a win.
Hey, Coach, just going off of the team's defensive performance, could you just go into a little bit more detail on how you guys contained Wahab throughout the afternoon?
Yeah, we tried to give him some different looks. You saw the other night at Virginia Tech, he kind of had his way. If you give it, they do a good job with their spacing. He had his, the other night, if you allow him to crap dribble and get back and get to his pet moves, he can be hard to deal with. We tried to just kind of swarm him. At times we doubled some of his things. We just tried to give help in other areas. He probably missed a couple. When I watched the film, there's probably a couple he missed that he probably, there's always a little luck involved. Same thing with Ayala and Scott. Those guys got some good looks maybe they normally make that they missed. But I just thought our activity down there, I thought our big guys really fought him in the post. They made it hard for him to get catches and really deep position.
Coach, you ran quite a few sets that ended up with shots in the paint, especially with Nance early. Did you see something in Maryland, or is that just your normal offense?
Yeah, it was all kind of stuff we normally run. But to your point, like Wahab is such a presence on the offensive end, and we have a guy in Nance who's very versatile as a big guy. And so we wanted to try to make Wahab guard out on the floor. So we tried to get him out on the court as much as we could. We tried to get him in pick and rolls. I thought it opened up some rolls to the basket, which because we have pretty good shooters, they were a little reluctant to leave our guys. But for us to get some points in the paint was big. At times when we've struggled, we've been too reliant on just cranking a lot of threes. And I thought our ability to get into the paint and get some baskets was a big part of the game.
Hey, Coach, appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Being able to have your defense hold them scoreless both the first half, the second half, and I think even kind of those last 4 minutes, what did that kind of show about this defense's evolution year, but like as a stretch the last couple of years?
Yeah, no, I just think, this group that's playing for us right now, we've invested in this group. 2 years ago, a lot of those guys were freshmen and young sophomores. And you know what? They took some lumps. We had a 3-17 year in the conference. And that's what happens a lot when you play in this league with a lot of young guys. But our whole goal was to really, invest in these players, invest in their development, have them grow together. We turned 3 wins 2 years ago into 6 last year. So even though it didn't look, we doubled. And we got everybody back, and everybody's really buying into winning. They want to be a tournament team. They want to be a top half team in this league. They believe in each other. They believe in what we're doing. And it's fun as a coach when all those things are in a good spot and all you have to do is worry about coaching. So this has been a really well-led team by our veteran guys. And you see, like, they're poised down the stretch of games. And it really came through tonight when we had to get stops. We had to make a couple free throws and got a couple big buckets when we needed them.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.